so sexy, so good to me.
Hey, this is Sir Charles Carey. I want you to join me on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. for the Tru-Mu podcast, True Music. That's where we talk about all things.
I'm a musician, singer, songwriter, producer, engineer.
All things creative.
Me and my co-host, Carl T. Smith, the smooth one, will be glad to hear you, glad to talk to you, answer your questions, and talk all things music. The Tru-Mu podcast, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Be part of the energy.
I can see that thing that makes men stop, stand still, all in denial, suffer loss of will.
Hey, folks, Sir Charles Carey with another episode of a Tru-Mu podcast, True Music and all things creative. Here with my good friend, Carl T. Smith, also
What's up?
The smooth one. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Man, I can't call it. It's good. It's good. Look, I can't kill it and it won't die. What can I say?
Trying to tell you, man.
You already know. Look, although we talk about music and all things creative, it made me think of the fact that we wear many hats and we've done many different things. And I know that as a music producer and as a songwriter and as an artist, audio engineer, anything.
You do all those things, huh?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh, you talking about me? Oh,
wow. Look, I have as well, but my point is, there's another side to, dressing up the song, if you will. There's another side to, how people receive musical talent, and that's by putting a face on it, putting a visual on it. And we've been able to do that. And that's what today we're going to give a little more focus to, the videography, the picture, not just the picture through imagination, but the actual picture. So through Only Greatness Media, we have the opportunity of speaking with and meeting the founder of Only Greatness Media, Miss Chris, the smart video girl.
Hey,
how you doing?
What's going on, Miss Chris?
I'm good. I'm wonderful. Thank you guys for having me.
Are you still celebrating the birthday?
Yeah, it's been it's an all month thing.
Oh, okay, all inclusive, the whole month.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. All Taurus season. I
am not mad at you. Look, my granddaughter had a birthday yesterday.
I know that's
right. So she's in the club too, I guess.
Yeah.
But look, we go a long ways back, and it's amazing to think how far back we go. When I think about it, the Boulevard, I think it was called, was just coming out here in the DMV. And, we spent a lot of time there. But even before then, we're going to take it from the beginning and kind of work our way up to today, if that's okay with you.
That's fine. I'm here for it.
Okay. So, when you first got started and, you're out of high school and, maybe even college, I'm not sure. I know I met you, finances, the numbers, bean counting. That was your thing, seemingly, the financial aspect. And first of all, tell us a little bit about you, the person that grew up in the DMV.
Okay, well, yeah, because it's not fair, because you kind of know a lot about me. So I am smart video girl. My mama named me Crystal. But I am the oldest of two daughters, born and raised here in the DMV. And I went to Hampton University. I graduated from Hampton University with a degree in business administration. And I was the first person to graduate college in my family. And I went to college and I had no idea what I wanted to do. It was one of those things of, the first to go to college. The only the real successful person that I knew was my aunt. She was an accountant and she worked in the government. So I was like, okay, that's it. I was good in math. And so that became the thing. But as many people experience, especially nowadays, I came out of college and I came out of college 2003. And I couldn't find a job. I couldn't get a job because of my credit. Right.
Oh, okay.
I was in the financial industry and I was trying to get a job at a bank at the time, I think. And it was like, they was like, And then, so I couldn't really get a job. And so I took the next route that I knew, which was entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
I delved into entrepreneurship with my bestie, Shayla Jordan. We started Black Diamond Financial Services.
Lady
Um,
J.
Yep, Lady J. And then we were head on into that. And I met you around that time. So I
Right.
met you when I was doing the Black Diamond. I wasn't thinking about the creative side of myself, although cameras was something that I was always interested in because I bought my first camera when I was in high school with my own money, and I didn't realize it then. But
That was the precursor.
that was the precursor. It was like, okay. So, we're promoting our business. I actually think it was Sam and Clay show, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yeah, but you're getting you're not getting ahead of yourself, but that was like one of the first ventures that was a big thing back then
Yeah.
for us, for y'all especially, but for all of us that were in this group called the Soul Siblings, because after college, one of your first ventures was radio. You were a radio personality. You were actually what do you call it? A video. What was the name they're using
What?
now? Podcast.
Yeah, podcast. I was a
You were
podcaster.
pre-podcast. You were pre-podcast.
Pre-podcast. The thing was, we went on the show to promote our business, and they say you could do this, and it was like, what? And so that's when my world changed. My world changed in that moment because then I literally discovered radio. I discovered podcasting. I discovered this dialogue and this conversation. I discovered other people's stories and wanting to share them. And so that's kind of where the journey began. And that was 2007. So 2007 is when we did our first podcast. Can We Talk Radio was the name of the show, right?
Yep.
It was me, I was Miss Chris, Lady J, and baby girl who's now known as Corinne.
Right.
Yep.
And then how was Wow Radio birthed out of that kind of?
Right. Yeah. So we had, it was birthed out of that. So there was this it was a breakdown of it. So Crib she did Wow Radio. So she went from show to station, and then Lady J returned to her accounting roots because she's still doing she's still doing tax preparation now. So she has Jordan Financials. And I kept going with the radio and delved into the video as well.
So now from Wow or Women of Wisdom Radio,
Yes.
and you did so many other things that were around the radio component. And then I think, to my recollection, that evolved, or you evolved, and you were doing photography. It kept elevating. It evolved step by step from radio to photography, and then you even managed artists at a point.
Yeah. I did do that, didn't I?
Yeah,
you
music
remember all
artist.
of that. That is amazing.
Look, I'm keeping track like it's my story.
Yes. What happened was we were doing the podcasting, the internet radio, right? And I was interviewing all these great people. Our show was on every week for an hour or two. I think it was 2 hours. So we would have amazing entrepreneurs, independent artists, community organizations on our podcast. And we were talking to them and they were telling these amazing stories. And I wanted other people to see in these stories. It's like I could see, I realized that I was a visual person and I could see their story as they were telling me. And I was so intrigued by it, but that I wanted to share it in other ways. And so that's where I actually hired people, other videographers, to come in to do the work first. And then I was like, no, I think I want to do this myself. I think I want to do it myself because I had a vision for what I saw when I was listening to the stories. And that's where Only Greatness Media Production kind of was birthed. Only greatness came to me. It was God given, as everything in my life is, but it was God given. It was like only greatness, Crystal. You are good, but greatness is the only thing that there is. And my slogan was making visions visible, because again, I could see it in my mind's eye, and so my passion through only greatness is to help other people see the vision, make it
You know,
visible for others.
the funny thing about us having vision, each of us individually, us here as well as other entrepreneurs or other beings, is that usually the vision is given to us from
Hmm.
the Most High, and a lot of times other people just don't get it. You know,
Yeah.
Carl and I, we talked about when we do events and shows how you may have people that want to help you. And Carl, you can chime on in. You may want to have people that they may volunteer, you may even hire them, but then you got to go right behind them and do what
Do
they
the
were
work.
supposed to be helping you do.
Yeah.
And
They don't
that's
see the
because the
vision.
vision was given to us. Not that
Hmm.
we can't hire people, but there are a lot of people that lack vision, and
Mm,
lack direction.
this is true. This is
Yeah.
true. And again, that's why I said I think at some point I was like, they're not seeing what I'm seeing when I wanted the video to be done. So that's why I took it upon myself. And then I went on to pursue another degree in in digital cinematography, and become a, a professional in my eyes, in the
Now,
field. So, and I've been doing that. That's been 10 years. So.
now you also, from I guess from time to time, teamed back up with Carib because
Hmm.
she was doing the audio while you handled the visual for
Hmm.
certain clients in certain arenas, on the political arenas as well. Because you
Yeah.
you guys were really kind of heavily in the political arena for quite some time with your gifts and talents with Dr. Dula
Yeah.
here in the DMV.
Hmm.
Look, I
Yeah.
should write.
Oh,
I'm gonna write your story. I'm gonna write your book.
please do, because you know it very well. He
No,
knows it
but
very well.
I watched because of our relationship.
Yes.
Sometimes close and sometimes from afar. But I found it interesting, intriguing, if you will, that there are various layers to how we get where we are, because that's the same that happened for myself.
Hmm.
Liking
Hmm.
television as a child, growing up, sticking my toe in the water and playing the clarinet, and then taking my instrument home on the weekends. But I wanted to play pop music with my clarinet, and the getting excited about, oh wow, that's the melody from the record. And eventually you fast forward and you realize I can do my own music.
I can do
So
my
there are
music.
layers to what makes us who we become ultimately. And I see that as your life has evolved as well, you
Yeah.
know.
Hmm. That
So
that definitely has happened for me.
yeah, so I understand also, in your videography or in your filming journey, in addition to, the political arena, you also did for a while, you did a lot of personal events. Like you are my videographer. I don't care where you go, I'm gonna find you, Chris. I'm just letting you know. So you've been my person for a number of years now, on multiple fronts. But you do events. I know you were doing music videos, um,
I've done documentaries.
documentary. Oh yes, yes. In fact, I don't know if I should say anything, but I know you've got a personal documentary that you're currently working on. So let me just ask this: what do you prefer, events, music videos, or the film documentary approach from your perspective as a videographer?
Mm.
If there's a preference.
Yeah, I think it has evolved over time. I definitely enjoy music videos. I like music videos. Those are fun. Um, those are fun. Events, each of them have their own thing. Like events, the way, because I do photos and videography for events, and some of my photography clients, they like the way that I take the pictures, because I take them in a way that's kind of almost like cinematic. So
Mm.
I'm not. It's not just your regular pictures of people posing. I'm a very candid photo person. So I take a lot of candid photos of people over the shoulders, people engaging and talking, contemplating. I like to see that when I capture video or photo. So for me, I don't necessarily have a preference in that. I think what it is for me is the story that is the in the project. So however that comes across. So depending on what the event is, I can enjoy the event, most of the time I'll enjoy the event, and there's some really encapsulating pictures and photos and moments that can be captured in our community. And I do have a heart for the community. So I love events actually.
Yeah, yeah. So do you do one more than the other? Just out of curiosity.
The only time time tells, because I used to do a lot of music videos. Now I don't do as many music videos anymore, and I do a lot of events. So yeah. So, but events is probably what I prefer.
It's funny. I know that a lot of creatives, I'll just say, there's again different facets to each creative talent. Like Carl, he plays music, but he also performs music. He also produces music. And I don't think I've ever asked him, but if I said, Carl, which aspect do you like better, playing, performing, or producing, or editing, whatever? I don't know what his answer. In fact, what would your answer be, Carl?
Probably being producing.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
producing. I mean, the only reason why I do any performing is just that I couldn't get anybody to perform. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I used to.
It becomes necessity, right?
I used to book time in the studio, and I'm sitting there waiting for people, and they don't come. So I just go ahead and I'm paying for it. Might as well go ahead in there and do something. Hopefully they come. Of course they didn't come, so I end up with what I end up with. That's how that all started. But probably producing. I rather do it and have other people do perform it, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I can relate. Even as a speaker coach, I've had people pay for their coaching program with me and still not show up. For the life of me, I don't get it. But hey,
they pay, right?
They pay. Right. And that, to me, it's crazy. And there have been certain instances I was kind of like chasing them to show up for what's already been paid for. I'm like, wow. Yeah. So Ms. Chris, so if you had to choose for yourself in your field of shooting, editing, maybe directing, which is your preference?
I would say shooting or directing.
Yeah, which one?
Yeah, right.
Oh, which
one? I'm sorry.
Directing.
That could be a lot of fun. That's because you're a visionary, you see. Yeah,
I'm directing with it, and everybody has talents too. It's like I can edit, I can shoot, but like where I think I shine is in the directing, part.
I can appreciate,
because I don't really like editing, but I can
really.
It's tedious. I like it, and I can do it. I think I'm pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's the task of it sometimes can be tedious, and I don't like to do it.
I guess it depends on how much footage, for me, how much footage, how many cameras I'm working with, which makes the difference for me. But I love editing because it's almost like music. It's a blank canvas. There's nothing there. Then all of a sudden you got footage from maybe 2 different angles, 3 angles, whatever it may be. And you have to make them interface with each other in a way that's either unique or that is in concert, and that makes the whole thing just this lively thing. And I love it. I really like it. It's
one of the funnest parts of it. I agree with you. I totally agree.
But it can be tedious though.
I think it's the tedious part that that gets me. But at the same token, again, it depends on what it is, and it depends on how much pre-planning I put into it. Because if I go into it and I know what I'm gonna do, I know what I got, and so when I go to edit, I already know what I have. Then I'm fine with it.
Well, you have asked me on a couple of occasions to let you know if I need help, and
Yes.
I'm so
If I say that now, that means I have a vision for it. If
see
I say that
now
it's
I
a
know that for sure.
yes.
But I guess I've been so hungry and maybe greedy, because I couldn't wait to get into the studio and the video studio to do stuff. But I have to take you up on it because I truly believe that when it comes to artists, I don't like to tell another artist what to do too much. Now that's a part of directing, but I think it's just great when you can allow that artist to use their natural gifts and talents in the way that they like. It to me it's just like if someone said sing the song a certain way, that might not be a bad idea, but it's great knowing you have the liberty to sing it the way you want to,
Right.
unless it's a difficult song. And the same thing for editing. If you have a vision or software effects or ideas of doing something with the image that I may not have created, and I'm trying to get you to do a specific thing, well, all that stuff I've never seen, I will never see. So leave her alone. Let her do her thing. Same thing when you've directed me in videos. Same thing when you say, I got it. Go ahead and do the show. I got the camera work. So Charles, go ahead and so I just get out my own way and get out your way at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a create when you are a creative like yourself and you do a lot of it, it's hard to kind of step away from that part.
Oh my goodness, yes. Carl, you got something for Miss Chris?
So I'm gonna go back because I learned quite a few things in this brief moment that Sir Charles did your promo bio.
Oh, yes.
Promo bio, thingy. What happened with you with the radio? Radio stuff. Do you still do that?
Actually, I do. So, I stopped. So what happened was I was a young whippersnapper and I was living my best life and I was doing my podcast, Can We Talk Radio? And then I became a mother and I stopped doing it. But and in 2022 I started doing my podcast again. I started a new podcast. It's called Introducing. And as a matter of fact, Sir Charles, when you talk about timing, when you asked me to do this, I was like, oh, sure. Because I'm actually going to be doing an episode tomorrow. I'm coming back. Yes. So Introducing podcast is where, as I have evolved as a person, as a creative, in who I am, I started introducing the podcast, which is introducing new people, new things, and new ways of thinking. And so I started doing that myself. I produce it because that's what I do. So I produce and host my own podcast. And I did 2 seasons of that, and then I took a break because I was doing some other things, like writing a book and really starting my documentary. So I put that on hold, but everything is kind of coming back together. Everything is coming back together. So I actually will be relaunching or starting a new season of Introducing podcast, and I'm going to be doing an episode tomorrow. So
what's the address?
So if you can follow it on YouTube.
On YouTube, okay.
Yes, on YouTube. And if you go to Only Greatness Media Production, if you look up Only Greatness Media Production, then you should see my channel. Hey, Mom. My mom is watching. Hey, Mommy.
Okay. Now, what's your book about?
Okay, my book is called Do the Work, Keep the Faith.
Do the Work, Keep the Faith. Go ahead. Do the Work,
Keep the Faith. Aligning with your authentic self. So I have been on a journey of writing this book for over almost a decade and a half. And I just finished. I actually just, before I jumped on here, divine timing again, before I jumped on here the editors that I work with just sent me a copy of the manuscript. So I am so excited.
You're
It,
moving. Good, good.
I am moving. It is going to
I
be,
like to hear that.
it's going to be released at any moment now. And I'm
Mhm.
really, 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 truly excited because it's the shift that is the natural shift that that's happening in my life. You know,
Mhm.
as a creative, from going into doing a lot of the things to more so into sharing and teaching the things that I've been learning
That
about
was my
life
next
and
question. Mhm.
about creativity and things of that sort. So that's kind of where I am. I'm like transitioning at this
Mhm.
period, transforming, I should say, at this period of my life.
I sure wish I'd known you was writing on your book. I would have been after you about getting that book out, girl. I wasn't
Oh,
really.
no, see, I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to tell nobody because I didn't want nobody to pressure me.
That'll
Yeah,
mess up the book, right?
Right, it messed up the book.
it's
But
okay.
no,
But
everything happened when it's supposed to happen.
yes,
It
yes.
it was one of those things. It's like every time I picked it up to write it, and then I wouldn't get it done, I would say, okay, well, clearly I have more life to live or something else. And this time around, here we go. I'm about to be a solo published author.
There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We got comments from your mom. She's
Mhm.
on. She says thanks. Okay, I'm on.
Oh, I
And
sent her the link. That's all.
and my sweetheart Sharon Parker. She's a mom video girl, 2025, and she also said only greatness media productions. She's excited about seeing that.
Yeah.
And Miss Parker got a lot to say. She said, "Hello, smart video girl. Love your creative journey."
Yes, hello, Miss Parker. I helped her podcast too. I see because I've done a lot of behind the scenes. Like I do a lot of live production
That's
stuff now as
production.
well.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, when it comes to creativity, it has become it's become who I am. It's become a form of expression. It's the work that I do
Yeah.
that's what I do. I
You are
create.
one with the work, and the work is one with you for sure. But
Oh,
Carl,
thank
you was
you.
gonna ask something else or say something more.
No, well, I was just, trying to dig in a little bit on some of the stuff that was kind of skipped over, because you had so much to say that I was, checking it out, So you started doing photography first and then slid into videos.
Other way around actually. I did
Videos,
video
then
first.
photography. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, okay. So what are some of the projects that you worked on?
I did a documentary um, about domestic abuse,
Mhm.
Mm.
and it went on to a couple of film festivals. And
Nice. Okay.
yes, that was very dope. I've worked with there's a organization called the Light the Way the Foundation that
Mhm.
I work with T.O., who is like a mentor of mine, and we worked on. This will be our third document. So I worked with two documentaries with the kids and helping them um, do their projects. One of them was about what was that one about? Music. It was about
Mm.
it was about music. So the kids come up with these documentaries and help them,
Mhm.
bring it all together in a summer camp, and that has done well, and it's been to film festivals across it. They actually won a couple, so I'm really proud of them. And I get
Mhm.
to do it again this year. I've done a lot of music videos, some for Sir Charles, some for Enoch, Seventh Prophet, some for, well, yeah, quite a few for them, for those two people right there.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
I've worked on a lot of different things. I've worked on even some television production for game shows and things of that sort. And NBC, ABC. As far as like freelancing and things of that sort. I've done conferences behind the scenes. Working conferences like I just did the uh, Women Grow conference, which was locally in DC at the National
But
Harbor.
didn't you last year? I mean, not just last year, but you got on travel to do different things too.
Yeah, I went to there's an organization called the um Black Women Lawyers.
Mm.
And so they have a conference that they do every year, and I did that last year. It was in Vegas last year, so I do a lot of the visual production for live events. So I done it. It's I have literally done a TV live production, stage production, television production. I've worked at CTV as well. I've done the
I'm gonna say,
news.
yeah.
I've done news at CTV. Like I don't know what I just haven't worked on like a
It's a
Ava
lot of stuff.
DuVernay
Good.
movie yet, but I'm working on
No,
it.
that's my next question. When's the movie coming out?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
And is it a horror or is it what kind of?
No, so I am actually. I don't want to talk too much, but I do have aspirations to do a either series or film more along the lines like Issa Rae, or somebody, or somebody like Michelle Beaumont, who I love. She's a comedian, and a producer. So,
Okay.
yeah,
I was,
I'm
I was
out
gonna,
here.
I was gonna ask you. I know as technology continues to evolve, and it snatches all of us up in it. Because I know me,
Mm-hmm.
every time Apple comes out with a different net gadget or computer, I kind of feel like I've got to have it because, because of what I do, whatever. But which is not true. I don't always have to have it, but it makes us want it. So I know that cameras, the film industry is changing from
Mm-hmm.
the resolution. Our phones have so much higher resolution than they ever have had in the past. And then we've got these standard DSLRs and DSRs. And, what's your thinking on how cameras have changed over the years?
See, I'm not a techie person.
Really?
I get it.
Oh,
I
girl.
understand it, but I'm not a techie person. Some people, like it's like, oh, the news such and such came out, and it's like, oh man, I battled with that for a little bit in the beginning, because it's like, oh, everybody's techie. Do you know about this? And do you know about that? And the new this came out, and the new that, and you got to use this. And a lot of times it's like, well, is the story good though?
Yeah.
So my thing is,
Who cares about the story? No, just kidding.
yeah, some people, it's like, what does it look like? It's like life sometimes. You know what I'm saying? People get caught up in what it looks like and instead of what it is,
Mm-hmm.
And so in the creating of it, it's like, okay, as long as, it's not like blurry and out of focus, and you have to make sure it's stable and all of the things. But outside of that, if you can capture the moment in the frame, then I think you've accomplished your goal as the creative. The technology should just really enhance it. And sometimes, and then, and it depends on what your goal is. It depends on what your end game is. Because if you're trying to get on certain platforms, of course you have to use certain technology because that's what they're looking for. But other than that, I think if you have because that's something we teach the kids too now. It's like, if you have the idea, if you have the thought, and you have a phone, especially, these things are powerful. If you have a phone, you can create anything you want to create.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Yeah. I mean, I love technology, and I do like the various cameras. I like Panasonic. I like Sony, of course, but I like Panasonic cameras because they're really good for night vision. But at the same time, you can't deny that if the phone has the same capability, the phone has the same capability. So, but I prefer to use cameras for video and photography, and phones just when you're running and gunning on location, unless it's intentional, but
right.
that's just my thing.
Yeah, because that's what actually last year we did, me and Tio, we did the documentary for the kids. They
With phones,
use cell phones. They use phones.
Right.
And it's won at film festivals because
it looked good. I mean, I went to the
you went to the premiere.
The premiere, I think the second year, and I thought it was great work personally.
Yeah.
So see, we got more comments from Miss Patricia. She says she's seen your work on the book from the start, and personally, she can't wait to see the finished product. I know that's right.
Mama. That's my mama.
Yeah, but just hearing what you've said thus far, it gives us a good idea that you know, you've done so many things. Your book's probably going to be very intriguing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
In the documentary too.
Yeah.
Say what now? The
Said in the
documentary.
documentary also
Yes, the documentary.
should be intriguing. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, the documentary. The documentary is called Dreams of a Vision.
Okay.
Yes.
If folks, if you're listening to us, we're talking to the smart video girl from Only Greatness Media, Miss Chris. And if the sound is gone, someone comments. See, Diana said the sound is gone. I'm not sure if that's because I bounced out and bounced back in. But if you cannot hear us, please feel free to let us know so that sound is gone. I'm not
It's
sure.
still on.
Okay. So
You
we're
know,
good.
I'm monitoring. Okay. You know, I'm monitoring.
She's still working. See that?
She's working. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'll let you know in the chat that it was. I'm like,
so I'm kind of interested. You know, we're talking about, you know, in fact, also, folks, if you have any questions or any comments about what we're discussing, about Miss Chris, about technology, about cameras, about videography, podcasts, please feel free to post your comments. We'd like to get your feedback on where you stand, you know, what your interest is, if you agree, if you disagree, because that's what it's all about. It's about the evolution and the education of who we are, whose we are, and where we are going with this information. So I wanted to ask you, Ms. Chris, this is kind of a sidebar. I know we're talking all things photography and pictures, but who are you listening to these days? What kind of music you listening to these days?
Oh my God, music?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. I listen. I'm very selective with my music.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you know, yeah, I'm careful of what I intake.
For sure. For sure.
But I'm an R&B chick. You know, I like me some her. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. Ella May.
Who's that?
Ella May.
Oh yeah. Ella May. Yeah.
Sir Charles.
Okay. Find out.
I get to the end.
Don't forget points.
And I like Kendrick, and I love Kendrick Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I got it. I get it. So I don't know. Other people get it. I get it though. But I like.
They're not like us. Don't worry about it.
They're not like us. Okay, great. So they're not. So yeah, anything really. I just because there's another group called Chris and T. Like they have a lot of it's like positive affirmational music. You know, I like to listen to stuff like that because I'm very particular about what I let into my psyche. So like I don't watch the news type of thing. You know, like I'm that person.
Trust and believe. I'm with you on that. I really am.
Right.
We had a certain segment that we have a new segment we've introduced starting last week, and you got to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay. So you can tell it, and if you want to expand on why, that's fine. There's no name for this segment. It's just a segment.
I like it. I like
we don't know what. Maybe we'll call it what you like.
What you like? Okay.
Something like that. So keep it simple, right?
Okay.
And we're gonna use kind of like the industry that you're working in as our area of focus. So you can give us a thumbs up. When it's in no particular order, these names that are going to come at you, but we want to see what you think and what you feel like.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready.
Jordan Peele. Okay. Antoine Fuqua. He did a movie with Denzel. He's done several films. I can't think of all the names, but
Antoine Fuqua. I can't. I'm gonna have to circle back. Come back.
That's okay. We got plenty of names for you to think on.
Okay.
Melvin or Mario Van Peebles.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Ava DuVernay. 2 thumbs. Oh, 2 thumbs. Okay.
Thumbs up.
That's my girl.
Tyler Perry. Oh.
I mean,
How you doing?
I'm gonna give him a thumbs up. I'm gonna give him a thumbs
He's
up.
kind of diverse. Oh, here's a good one. This I'm gonna let you know right now. It's a throwback. Gordon Parks. Okay. So you up on it? That's what. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Celebration.
I got it, but it's not doing it. I got it. Come
Oh,
on.
you got it too, right? Yeah.
But it's not doing it. Yeah.
That iPhone thing.
So I know you're an Apple girl. That's all. It's all good. What about Hudlin Brothers? The Hudlin Brothers.
I'm not familiar.
That's okay. I think you are, but you're probably just not familiar with,
Okay.
because we don't hear their name as much as we used to in the 90s. What about the Hughes brothers?
Yeah, okay. I can get with the Hughes brothers.
Okay. So we're gonna switch gears now. We're gonna take you back to music a little bit.
Ooh.
R. Kelly on production, as far as production.
Oh, see, you're gonna have me out here, people. Don't judge your mama, don't judge me.
That's it. Okay. Quincy Jones. All right. Swiss Beats.
Okay, Swiss.
Okay.
That's a him. Okay, he's okay.
I don't know how familiar you are with David Foster.
David Foster. What did he do?
He's a white gentleman. He's worked with like Earth, Wind, and Fire, almost every major crossover brand.
If he's worked with Earth, Wind, and Fire, I'm gonna give him.
Yeah, he's a senior gentleman, but he's been in the industry a very long time. Okay. I know RZA.
RZA, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, and then of course, the most controversial, Ye.
Oh,
Kanye.
Easy. Can I do like up to a certain point or something?
For sure. Look, you can.
I can do what it is. It's like this and that. Honestly, I haven't heard anything recently, so I can't really speak on the other stuff. But I love Ye. I love Kanye. I love Kanye West.
Yeah.
I think
he's.
I don't know who
he's
Ye
brilliant.
is.
I think he's brilliant.
Yeah,
I know. I feel you on that. I think he's brilliant. I just think sometimes he does things that are totally unnecessary. But
I mean, I think he's having he's living his life publicly, and he's having, he's trauma response in full effect. But that's his life. Though, so
look, with or without that money, I could not imagine doing some of the things he's done. But whatever. You went to recently a conference.
Yes.
And I heard about it. Can you tell us a little bit about the conference that you went to?
Yes, I went to a Canva conference. It was called Canva Create. And it was in Los Angeles at the SoFi Stadium in the YouTube Theater, and it was phenomenal. I've never been to the YouTube Theater, so that was exciting as a creative because everybody wants to be on YouTube, right? Yeah, that's where they have all the YouTube awards and all that stuff. But anyways, it was a Canva. For those who do not know, it's a web-based creative platform. They do graphic design, and they do all things graphics, and they really are like a competitor for Adobe. A lot of people don't really know that. But they have been over the years really stepping up their game. I've been using Canva for almost a decade. I've been using it for a long time.
For sure.
I've been using Canva for a very, very long time, but it now is definitely something that's very popular. They have like over 1 billion pieces of material that have been created around the world, period. But they do an annual conference where they talk about all the different neat tools that they have. That they're releasing, and of course AI is behind a lot of it. There are a lot of creative AI tools that they introduced. There was a lot of new features that will allow you to create easily. Branding is a very big part now. Everybody wants to be on brand. You want to be recognized. Reels are important. It's a great platform. It's a great platform that you can create everything for your brand in one place.
Yeah.
And it's very affordable, and it is very easy to collaborate with. So
Yes.
I love Canva personally. I also, it's one of those things too. You talk about text, all right? So people are either, because their competitor probably be Adobe, like I said, and Adobe used to be computer based. They had the disk and everything. Then they moved to the cloud based because they had to, because you had to keep up with companies like Canva,
Yeah.
right? But the thing with Adobe is so expensive,
I know.
and you still have to have the software locally on your computer.
Right.
Especially if you're doing like the Photoshop and the Lightroom and
But
the
see,
After
are
Effects.
you familiar with Adobe Express?
Yeah, 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 yeah. But it
Okay.
doesn't compare to Canva.
Mhm.
I guess it depends what you use it for, but I'm likely to agree with you because look, you just got back from the conference, so who am I to say it doesn't?
No, Adobe Express is fabulous, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like, they're trying. It's like Adobe Express is trying to get into a game where Canva is the game.
Right, right.
You see
Okay,
what I'm
I
saying?
feel you on that.
So,
Yeah.
right. So Adobe's trying to play catch up with Canva, and
Okay.
Canva is taking Adobe's blueprint and elevated. So they're already ahead
Ah,
of them.
okay, okay.
And they just introduced, I'm sorry, I'm going to share this with it. They just introduced this partnership with this company here, and it's called Affinity.
Affinity?
Mhm.
Yes. So
Okay,
Infinity is like Photoshop.
Mhm.
okay.
Yes. And that's the one thing as a creative that Canva is lacking, is some of the controls to really get in there and to niche and change and really get,
The little finer nuances.
yeah,
Mhm.
the finer nuances.
Okay.
And this partnership with the Affinity changes the game, because now this Affinity is the program that rivals Adobe, and Photoshop.
Right.
It rivals Photoshop, and so now Canva really is fully equipped
To
As a
do
to
main
everything.
compete with
competitor.
Adobe. And
Right.
Wow.
this is not a paid promotion. But I do enjoy Canva. I do enjoy Canva.
Carl, are you familiar with either of those, Adobe and Canva?
Yeah, yeah. I've run across quite a few of those and check out stuff. I mean, um, I still use the old stuff that I had before, because a lot of the techniques that I have, just seems to work out better for me. But yeah, no, I've ran across a bunch of those stuff, and I've saw the affinity thing. I peeked at that also.
Okay, cool.
It's all good stuff,
It's all
Yeah.
It's
good.
all great stuff.
Well,
Yeah,
Carl,
and
let
I
me
think I think Canva's a little more user friendly. You don't have to be as
very,
Right,
very,
tech savvy versus
right.
Adobe. You
You
have to know
gotta
what you're looking at,
right.
yeah.
and that's the appeal. So yeah.
You if I haven't been doing this as long as I've been doing, I think I would be lost, or uh,
Hmm.
people in my age range or my generation, they would be lost. And I find it real. I like it because I like learning and I
Hmm.
like staying on top of stuff. So I just enjoy the hands-on, the
Yeah.
manipulating things in my own time and in my own right. So,
Hmm.
but you're right. I think that Canva is a lot more user friendly. And Adobe, you've really got to learn it. And once you learn it, don't forget what you've learned, or you'll be lost again.
Don't You better practice. You better keep practicing. You better
No, and
write them.
Canva,
You better write them
Canva's
commands
being
and controls
integrated.
down.
Canva seems to
Yeah.
be being integrated in just about almost everything now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anything that you're working on, it can be imported into Canva and completed the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. They have a lot of partnerships too with the social media. You can create right in Canva, export right to
Yeah,
It's true.
sure enough.
IG, right? Export right to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So they have the templates. It's already template set. So it for efficiency, for a creative, and if you're a creative, it's like, for me, it's about efficiency.
Yeah.
So I will take a template, and it won't look nothing like the template,
Right.
Mhm.
but it has gotten me, it helps me in my efficiency, because it gives me something to start off with versus a blank
Mhm.
canvas.
Now, when you
Because
say
sometimes I
efficient,
just need to replace and remove and change So yeah.
So when you say efficiency, is that equivalent to workflow?
Yes.
Okay, because that's my thing too. The workflow, just like with music, if the workflow is strange, I am not interested. And I know we all have to learn, but sometimes it's like, is it worth it to learn a new DAW? Is it worth it to, just implement other third-party tools into what I do? And it may be worth it in the long run, but my mindset and my brain, my capacity of learning and stretching has its limits. So, I prefer to work in a workflow that's more convenient. So I'm going to call on the smooth one for a little more elaboration. Carl, can you help expand on what we've got coming up in the upcoming couple of weeks?
Oh, you mean that thing there? Oh, okay, yeah.
No thing, man. Stop it, man. Cut it out.
Yeah, no, we're on Saturday, May 24th. We're going to be up here in New York at the Rafael Hernandez Auditorium, where you're going to be featuring all these fantastic stars like Sir Charles, Carrie, and Overtime, and then they're going to have me, have me do a song or two, so. So yeah, we're going to do that. But the thing with that also is that hopefully anybody can see it anywhere, because for the first time for for myself, we're going to stream it live, so you should be able to check it out online. So if you want to get a ticket, or stream, just go to ctstickets.smooth1.com and go there. When you go there, use the promo code either Sir Charles Carey or ABC, and get you a free ticket or free stream. Go
Nice.
there while we have them, because tickets are limited.
That's nice. Yeah, I look forward to it, man. Going back home to show with the folks, no doubt, no doubt. It's all good. So, Video Girl, the smart Video Girl at that.
Yes.
What do you have coming up? Is there a date slated for your documentary, and what else do you have coming up?
So everything is coming out. It's on its way. Like I said, so tomorrow I actually will be doing almost like a reintroducing podcast, just a brief reintroduction, and I'll be introducing the podcast. Will be coming back this season. The book, like I said, they just sent me the full manuscript, so that is coming very, 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 very soon. That baby, gosh, I'm excited about that baby, because that baby has been a long time coming. And the documentary, I'm still filming for that. I'm actually going to be going down to Alabama.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing some taping in Montgomery, Alabama around Juneteenth for that. And then I have a few more interviews on this end that I want to get done before I wrap. So the documentary will probably be next year before it's actually done. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, that's fantastic,
But in the meantime, between time, the book is out. The book is coming.
Is that the next thing? I mean, no, the podcast is the very next thing. So
the
after
podcast is tomorrow. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But the book is the next thing. The book is the next
thing.
Yes. Do the work, keep the faith, aligning with your authentic self. That's the name of the book.
So, folks, if you've been watching or listening, or if you're going to watch this in a replay, you can put hashtag replay and post your comments or your questions. Now, if you don't want to put hashtag replay, that's fine. You just want to post your comments or your questions, it's all good. We'd love to hear what your feedback is, what your thoughts are, and we will definitely get back to you. If you have questions for the smart Video Girl, target her. If it's just in general, just place those comments, those questions. And once again, we want to thank you, each and every one of you. In fact, we want to thank you for your time. And don't forget to come check out this information we just shared about May 24th at the Rafael Hernandez Auditorium in New York. Or don't forget, you can also stream this information if you can't be there in person, as Carl shared the information. And look, we just are about our business, and we want you to be about yours as well. So once again, thank you for your time. And until the next time, remember, be part of the energy.
Yes.
We'll see you soon, folks.
Thank you so much. Thank you both.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Good to see you again.
Yes.